maybe you should come back.
Well, maybe. I hope so. That was fun, and I enjoyed it.
All right.
And that keeps me busy.
All right. Well, Don, thank you. You've been a wonderful guest. It's been so fascinating
It's been my
talking
pleasure.
to you.
It's been my pleasure. It
Really,
has.
really, I could sit here for hours and do this. It wouldn't bug me at all. It'd be my pleasure. But guys, thank you for watching. I want you guys to go and check out these books that Don put out. I left the links below to them. I believe there's also are there audiobooks as well available?
There's a Kindle.
There's a Kindle version, so there's a digital version that people can pick up.
Audio, I don't think so.
Highly suggest you guys go pick this up. Go support Don Derry on his research on UFOs and ETs, the truth, the lies, and all that stuff. And I want to thank you once again for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Aliens, man. Do they exist? We don't know. What is this?
Oh man, here they come again.
Here they come again. This still has skin on the skull.
Abductions do run in families. It's generational. They are interested in bloodlines and genetics. And these are bloodlines they have been cultivating for at least several decades, maybe for much, much longer. Perhaps, thousands of years. And so there is a generational component to it. But the overlap between the spiritual side, the paranormal type side, and the alien abduction side, it's extraordinary and very much underappreciated. And people do not want to put these two things together. It's all the same thing. These things are all on the same team. They're all working, together for each other. If you talk to Heidi Hollis, well, let me back up. It took me until I was about 54 years old when I was waking up and just being completely conscious. They got to where I was conscious and they were trying to come get me. It actually got to where they were trying to come get me during the middle of the day while I was wide awake. I've actually had a couple of very strange incidents during the middle of the day. People like to say, oh, this is just a dream, or, this is just some strange psychological happening, and that's just simply not true. But where was I going with that? Oh, just,
no idea.
Yeah, completely lost track of where I was going. Hopefully you were paying attention.
I was paying attention.
You were drinking coffee.
Yeah, no, I was paying attention.
The warfare. Yeah, the spiritual warfare and the overlap. So people do not want to understand, I do not believe they're from outer space. And people will come from this being was unspeakable. The aliens, for lack of a better term, were created to more easily interact with us, because this is a very physical phenomenon. These are physical spaceships. They come get physical bodies. They are taking physical eggs and sperm. They are making physical hybrid beings who will be capable and are capable of living on the planet. So they have an entire agenda. And it can be very difficult to understand, well, why does a demon need a spaceship? Well, a demon doesn't need a spaceship, but a demon cannot interact with us very easily at all. And so I believe these creatures were made, they are nuts and bolts creatures, even though they are very metaphysical.
She looks fucking
they're
crazy,
able to phase
dude.
in and out of these dimensions, for lack of a better term. And I think they are here to do the interaction with us and to carry out whatever this agenda is. They tell us what the agenda is, by the way. I don't know if we can believe what they're saying, but they're creating these hybrids to seed them on the planet and usurp humanity on the planet. In the meanwhile, you have this very strange spiritual warfare going on through these beings. It was through these beings that I realized, what are they doing with my soul? How do they have the power to take my soul out of my body and to put it somewhere else?
The soul,
and that
okay.
is a very frightening thing. That is what made me
question
my faith, question Christianity. Wait a minute, how can this being, and it's technology that they're using, they're using technology to remove me from my own body. That is something that should be the purview of God himself, right? But no, these beings are able to do it. And so that is a whole other rabbit hole that I'm not sure you want to go down. But
I want to go down at all. Like I don't want to. I just got to tell you that what everything you're saying is resonating to me. Like everything. So the idea of these beings be able to pull your soul out of your body, if we look at it in
Hell
a
yeah.
different lens,
Yep.
through practical means that everybody listening to the show has heard of, and I'm sure you have, astral projection. That's something that you choose to, well, not always, but that's something that people can choose to do. They practice it. They try to become in the astral plane. And one of the things they talk about is how they can choose to leave their body and go back into their body. So if you as an individual can do that, and theoretically God can do everything, could there be dark forces? Let's just say you're not a dark person
I wanna
choosing
do
to do
that.
that, and there's
Sounds
God
awesome.
who is ultimately able to do anything. Could there be dark forces out there that are very powerful? Yes, we've established that. Could they have the ability to do that as well? Why couldn't they? Why couldn't they? Especially when we're talking about fallen angels and these beings who have been around since creation. They watched it happen. They saw how God did these things, and then they rebel. Like, why wouldn't they have the ability to do that? And then you were talking about the hierarchies. Like, there's hierarchies with order, but there's also hierarchies within this side of things. Like, say just simple terms, good and evil. On the evil side, there are separate hierarchies. Who in the world can put a whole prison of inmates into one room and say, guys, get along and figure it out? It doesn't happen. And so within that realm, there are hierarchies of warring fractions. They're on the same team, as in we're against the big guy, but I am better than you. No, you're not. I'm better than you. There's definitely that, and that filters into people's experiences. And so I don't know where I went with that. I'm super ADHD, but you said something, I interrupt you, and I'm sorry.
don't be sorry. I get tired of rambling. I'm just pulling things from so many places. This is not a coherent story, and I apologize for that. You totally nailed it. So I look at it, I liken it, of course, from the job to a drug cartel. You know, you have the head of the cartel, like Juan Pablo, and then you've got your shot caller who's in some prison in Central California.
Yeah, this is
And
kind
you've
of
got
lame, isn't
50
it?
gangs underneath that shot caller.
I don't even
and
know
they're
what they're
all trying to
talking
move
about.
dope money and guns. And
Dude, this guy is just popping up everywhere. Day 4?
Welcome to day 4 of our Alien and UFO.
Wait, I
week. If
missed
you
day
haven't seen
3.
1, 2, and 3 yet, I highly recommend you go and check them
Shit.
out. And if you're into aliens,
I missed day 3. Here we go.
welcome to day 3 of Alien and UFO week, mate. Welcome, okay?
I like
if you're
this.
into
I
aliens
like
and
what
UFOs
this guy's
and ghosts
doing.
and paranormal
I'm
and strange
definitely
things, make sure you subscribe.
definitely
And I
into
also
it.
recommend, because
yep.
this is a 7-day week upload of
But they're
aliens and UFOs
okay.
this week.
Are you gonna have the old guy talking again?
The July 1952. So all the way back in 1952, right, the Prime Minister, Winston Churchill, it was like, right, let me know about this stuff, okay? And this is really quite interesting as well. The topic of unidentified area phenomena, UAP, has remained an enigma since well before the Prime Minister.
I'm all in it, baby!
above. Since the earliest record history, probably only 2 key facts have changed.
Day
There are
3,
now more UAP
you lost me on day 2
and there
because
are
they were
viral
boring.
UFO ones.
But I like his deep dive into this shit. I like this guy. I like him a lot.
Welcome to The Conspiracy Show. My name is Richard Serrett. Did a vessel of extraterrestrial origin touch down near a U.S. Air Force base in England over Christmas
But I like
in
it.
1980?
I like this
Tonight,
guy.
we'll meet several of those witnesses, including one who claims to have walked up to the landed craft and touched it. We'll also meet a UFO investigator who insists the evidence proves that a vessel
I wish
of
I could do
extraterrestrial
something
origin
like this.
touched down in Rendlesham Forest in 1980.
That was like the
We'll also meet a skeptic
TR-3B,
who
is it?
insists there are numerous plausible explanations for this event, none of them which include a flying saucer piloted by an
I like
alien.
this.
Our mission is to
I
investigate
like
these
this
claims
format.
and follow the
I feel like
truth
he's doing a
wherever it
really
may
good
lead.
job. He's
It is
definitely getting
time
the views.
to redefine reality. Genetic enigma or a human?
Well, you don't have to work tomorrow, so why does it fucking
Yeah, it
matter?
looks like the TR-3B.
Technology can alter weather patterns
Created
engineered by
shaped
the
UFO.
Illuminati.
Very similar.
I'm here in Phoenix with Jim Peniston, U.S.
Let
Air
me
Force,
cook.
retired Staff Sergeant at Royal Air Force Base in Bentwaters during the 1980 Rendlesham
It doesn't
incident.
matter. I'm only
Jim,
hurting
welcome to the
myself at this
Conspiracy Show.
point.
Thanks for your time.
Well, thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it.
I want you to give me a quick thumbnail sketch or a timeline of what you saw, the date, where you were, and what your observations were.
Yeah, I was working the midnight shift on the 25th of December, 1980. I was in charge of security for RAF Woodbridge, England. And around 1:30, 2
Okay.
o'clock in the morning, I was called to go to the East Gate. I arrived
All
there,
right.
and Sergeant Steffens briefed me that they had something going on in the woods.
All
I was
right.
out there. It appeared to be a dome of light, looked like a fire. I said, "What, do you hear a crash?" And he says, "No, Jim, it didn't crash." So I said, "What, did it land?" And he goes, "Yeah, something like that." I
Huh?
went back to the gate shack. I call into my control centers. They're checking to see the radar, to see if there was a tracking or anything like that. In a couple minutes, they come back online and they say, we had a unidentified bogey about 15
Bogey?
minutes ago, lost contact over.
We got a
our base.
bogey!
We deployed quickly off base. There's only like 300 yards, and there was like a bright
Okay.
white light. A triangular craft appeared in front of us. It measured approximately 9 feet long, triangular in shape, black glass looking, metal feel, but very,
All
very
right.
smooth. And when I came around
All
to
right.
the far side, I see there was some type of pictorial
What is that?
glyphs on it.
What is that? It's like
I
a
was actually
casket
hoping
and
that it was the
graveyard.
United States Air Force or
Wow.
NASA or
Wow.
something like that.
So okay, this got even more interesting because I thought it was like
Wow.
TR3. Is it the TR3B? I think it's called the TR3B. With these with these markings that he saw on the side, tells you it could be alien. Woo. Okay, and I want to go to this place. Apparently, like they've got a replica of the UFO there, and you can actually do the trail of the UFO. I've got to go. I've got to go there. I'm going to.
Okay.
It's a rainy, cold day here in Rendlesham
It's a
Forest.
rainy,
We're
cold
just outside
day.
the old Woodbridge Air Force Base, and I'm here to meet Larry Warren, the original whistleblower of the Rendlesham Forest UFO incident. He's here
All right.
to relive those strange events that happened over 30 years ago.
I've never
Why do you
heard
have
of
to-
it.
I saw what I saw.
Why do you
I
have to do
never
the
saw
soul
anything in the air
patch,
except
bro?
the light come in, and then an object, something happened, and there was a structured object on the ground.
Okay. Okay.
Wow.
And we
Wow.
drove down here and
Wow.
turned left, stopped, and then moved on foot through much like this. And there was no snow on the ground. And I mean, the forest was this all the way through. This is what you're going through in pitch black night, flashlights, radios going.
Mate.
And I still stand by, and I'm not alone in it. There was something alive in association with it. It was just there.
When you say it was there,
It was
you
just
mean you felt
there.
a presence?
No, I
was
saw
just
it.
there.
I saw it. Definitely 3 things.
Inside the craft?
Outside.
How tall were they? 5 foot, maybe, from day one. Make sure you go and check it out, if you know what I mean.
Lieutenant Bonnie Tamplin kind of lost it a bit and wouldn't come back out here.
Whoa.
I'm here with Peter Robbins, co-author of Left at Eastgate, a first-hand account of the Rendlesham Forest UFO incident. Peter, thanks for joining me.
My pleasure, Richie.
So fucking dorky, though.
This is wicked.
So dorky.
Larry's story is truly remarkable. Some might say out of this world, as is all the witnesses' stories are. Why did you believe him?
Good question. I have to be a skeptic because I know this is real beyond a reasonable doubt from the work I've done. whatever happened to him in that field and happened to him after
So fucking
with
dorky.
more terrestrial sources, controlled and ran his life.
So, what
Soul
do you
Patch,
think
brother.
they saw out there?
I think they saw technology and a presence from parts unknown.
Aliens,
These
mate. Just
men's
say it.
lives were changed forever. I'm sure some of them, most of them, would have rather just done what the service wanted them to do, which is forget about it.
Forget about it. The fuck?
Right, well, thanks for that. Nice one. See you. Oh, okay. I think it's taken from television.
I'm here in southern Arizona at the Grasslands Observatory with James McGaha, retired
God,
U.S.
dude,
Air
that
Force
soul
pilot,
patch is fucking crazy.
astronomer, and skeptic. James, welcome to the Conspiracy Show.
Welcome, James. James Magala.
Unfortunately, I can't put this next part in, but basically what it is, it's only like a minute. James McGaha, he has a audio tape of the soldiers radioing in, saying about these lights in the distance over in the forest. Okay.
Okay.
But what? Because he's obviously a skeptic. He doesn't believe the accounts of what these people are saying.
All right.
He says that the coordinates that they gave was
Okay.
110 degrees
All right.
east, and in that direction
Yeah.
was a lighthouse, and these lights were flashing
okay.
every 5 seconds. Okay,
5
the
seconds.
lighthouse flashes every 5 seconds.
All right.
But there's a little bit of back and forth about the detail there. For example, the colors of the lights aren't the same as the lighthouse, things like that. So I had to trim that out. But if you if you
right.
want to see the original, links in the description. Okay, right.
Yep.
Let's get back into it.
All right, let's
What other
Let's
possible
go.
explanation could there
Soul
be
Patch,
besides
baby,
the
let's go.
Orford Nest Lighthouse?
Oh, well, when you get in the explanation, it
Why are they so close?
becomes quite complicated. Let's talk about the first night when the airmen went out. They see lights. They see various lights.
Is that
They
the
probably saw
KFC guy?
Orford Lighthouse, but they saw something else.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because
They
lighthouses
saw
aren't
something
red.
with a blue bank of lights with a bright light on top of it and some other things.
Okay.
And what is not widely publicized
Mm-hmm.
is that somebody called the British police.
Oh,
And there was
no.
a British police
All right.
car driving around out there on the farm roads, and
Okay.
very likely they were seeing the flashing
British.
strobe lights of this police car because it has a bank of blue lights on
Yeah.
top of it.
Okay.
But once they got out there with the police car and the Orford Lighthouse, that's probably what they saw. They never got close to it in their reports, and they were ordered to come
Okay.
back to base. The second night, they go out and they don't see anything initially. And then, of course, somebody says they see a light.
Okay.
And then they call Halt, who was at a party,
All right.
and Halt decides to
He's drunk
organize a
at the
team
party.
and go out.
Okay.
And then all of a
There's a
sudden,
light.
they see this flashing light, which is the Orford Lighthouse. And
Okay.
then at some point, Hall looks up at the sky, and about
Hall?
10 degrees off the horizon in the north and the south, he sees 3 bright objects.
Okay.
And they're just stationary objects. And then he says they look like they're shooting off beams or dancing
Okay.
and so forth. And all they are is stars.
It's the biggest insult in the world. We're highly trained,
All
some
right.
even more trained than others, but we
All they are is stars.
all knew. Here we were.
Yeah.
They don't
Right.
put idiots
Yep.
out here.
Colonel Halt, when
Yeah,
this
exactly.
happened,
You don't just look up in the sky and assume that something. You don't mistake them for stars. You know what a star looks like, you know?
again, a respected military personage, retired 12 years later as a full colonel.
What a
This
fucking
his
dork.
career, and
This
that's
guy
not
looks like
conjecture
a
or
fucking
guesswork.
dork.
He told us.
When they retraced their steps,
Uh-huh.
lo and behold, they end up where Halt says nothing ever happened. Seems everything happened there.
Ah.
Everything.
Interesting.
These
Yeah.
men's lives were changed forever.
Okay.
I'm sure some of them, most of them, would have rather just done what the service wanted them to do, which is
All right.
forget about it.
Forget about it.
Yeah, actually, a guy to my side said, "What would happen if we talked about it? The people are all ready." They said like this. The guy said with a smile, "Bullets are cheap."
Jesus. Basically, if you talk, it'd be the last time you bloody talk, mate.
All right.
Walk me through the
period that begins with your debriefing and the threats that were made against you.
Well, we came off duty. I went immediately back to my room, my dorm room. So the next thing I know is that I get a note under my door, and they said I had to go out to the Chief of Security Police's office.
And that afternoon they were debriefed. We're convinced it was disinformation, which is not a lie. It is a very skillful mixture of truth and fiction to produce a certain result. I'm convinced in this case to scare the hell out of the men involved.
Well, a guy to my side said, what would happen if we talked about it? The people are already... They say like this, the guy said, with a smile, bullets are cheap.
You know, there's this idea that somehow people can be threatened and all kinds of stuff. In all my career in the Air Force, I never saw anybody threatened.
Were you taken to an underground base and debriefed?
I think that was narco-hypnosis. I was taken to something subterranean.
Mate, hang on a second. This is getting pretty deep. You've got one side that are totally just saying, look, it was nothing, it was a lighthouse, it was stars, and you've got the other hand, the other people saying, this happened, mate, right? I know what I saw. I know when I look up in the sky what a star looks like and what a UFO looks like. And I saw it straight in front of me, and I sensed something. I saw 3 people.
I do believe they exist on the base.
I think for me that's very important. He was missing for, my understanding, is between 24, 36 hours. Men who asked where he was were told he was on a leave. Halt has always said that Larry was meddled with. Yes, he was. So were all of the men.
What else is there? Is this kind of like dumb and boring? What is this? What is this?
Because one of the people might...
Our understanding...
Look, the reason is...
Yeah. Alright, let's see what else there is. Also, okay. 3 months of... Oh, this is a history channel. Yeah, okay. Nope, not doing that at all. This guy, you know, I wanted to look into this guy a little bit. No, maybe not. Let's see. But at the same time, I've seen him.
We may have just taken an absolutely huge leap towards disclosure around aliens, UFOs, and UAPs as the head of Arrow, the brand new head of Arrow, who was appointed recently...
I'm actually kind of curious of what his, like... Let's see, popular... 1 year ago, 3 months... Damn. Doing good, boy. Doing good, boy. Latest UFO footage. Interesting.
There have been so many UFO sightings over the past few months that it is completely taking over pretty much the internet. Everyone's talking about UFOs and UAPs at the minute, and I'm so excited about it. But today we're going to be looking at some of the craziest UFO experiences and encounters that I've seen over the past kind of week or so. I've got an amazing lineup of videos set up for you guys, but to make it a little bit more interesting, we're going to take a little look at something that came out of Liverpool University. And it's all about UFOs. On the screens now. Obviously,
you know, I think I wanted to
some interesting
on
statistics
the
just before we
fat
get into
files.
What actually I'm using from this, but
oh shit!
From the statistics from this research, I suppose, have extraterrestrial aliens visited Earth? 40% of people believe yes.
Oh man, I'm all shit. Wait, videos. Let's see, latest. Damn it. What is this one?
Mark my words, if this law goes into effect, every single fast food restaurant in the state of California will start selling loaves of bread. Today we're talking about blatant political corruption and Panera Bread, and once I start going down this rabbit hole, I'm not going to be able to stop, so we're going to go ahead and
Oh,
get the ad
Panera!
out of the way right Zaka Life Go Balm. It's made in the USA, 100% organic, full-spectrum CBD balm that you can put on any ache, any sprain, or athletic injury, and it's going to make it immediately feel better. This is one of the few times that I've actually approached a company to rep their product and not the other way around, because I actually use this stuff, okay? I'm 30, I'm fat, I've been doing construction for years, things hurt, this makes it not hurt. So if you're in the same boat as me, go ahead and give this stuff a try over at ZakaLife.com. Use the discount code FAT5 to save some money. Let's get back to the video. Okay, so here's what happened. The minimum wage in California is $16 an hour. The California state government is trying to pass a law that would make the minimum wage for fast food employees $20 an hour. Now, this law isn't designed to affect every restaurant in the state of California. It's specific for fast food chains, and a fast food chain is defined as any chain restaurant that has 60 or more locations nationwide, and those locations have a drive-through, or when they do have in-dining, there is zero table service, so like there's no waiter or waitress. Okay, so exactly what most people think of when they think of fast food. Now, there are some exemptions within the law, so hypothetically, say you took a major chain restaurant like a McDonald's or a Wendy's, an individual restaurant could be exempt from this new minimum wage if that restaurant is inside of an airport, inside of a hotel, inside of an event center, a theme park, a public or private museum, a gambling establishment, or is considered a concession stand, or that restaurant is located on state-owned land. They would no longer have to pay that $20 minimum wage. Now, right off the bat, most of those seem pretty okay, except for that last one about state-owned land. It seems like the government's just basically coming out and saying, hey, everybody has to pay this new minimum wage unless it's a restaurant that we own, in which case we don't have to abide by our own rules. Essentially saying the quiet part out loud of, hey, the government's here to make sure nobody fucks you except for them. But I mean, let's face it, that's pretty much just how it's always been. It's probably how it's always gonna be. Now, this bill makes it all the way through the state government. It's in its final stages. And then at the last moment, somebody adds an additional exemption. And that exemption is that a restaurant is no longer required to pay that minimum wage if they also sell bread as a standalone item, which I think we can all agree is kind of a weird exemption. I mean, off the top of my head, that would pretty much only apply to Panera Bread. At this point, Bloomberg puts two and two together and they're like, hey, you know who owns a bunch of Panera Breads in the state of California? Governor Newsom's friend. They went to the same high school. They've done business together in the past. He even donated like $160,000 to Governor Newsom's campaign recently. So now Gavin Newsom's taking a bunch of heat for potential political corruption, and he's not just taking it from like Republicans because he's a Democrat. No, he's getting it from all sides because it's so fucking obvious that it's political corruption. I mean, he's a Democrat and he got called out by Bloomberg, for fuck's sake. So first, the news outlets ask him, they're like, why did this bread exemption get added in the first place? To which he basically responded, it was part of the sausage making process for the bill, and provided no more explanation. And then when the interviewer came out and just straight up asked him, like, don't you think it's a little bit weird that everybody has to pay a $20 minimum wage except for Gavin Newsom's friend? Gavin Newsom said, no, that's not true, because we never talked about it.
Friend of Gavin Newsom who doesn't have to pay the $20 an hour minimum wage.
But it turns out, A, it's not true. He never talked to me about it, period, full stop.
Do you understand the gravity of what that dude just said? He basically got caught red-handed giving a political favor to a buddy, and then when he was directly asked about it, he said, I'm not doing political favors for my friend, and I know that because my friend and I never talked about it. This man is literally trying to gaslight people into thinking they don't know how friendships work. Like, yeah, obviously, me and my friends have never had a direct conversation about not kicking each other in the dick, but also, we're not gonna go kick each other in the dick because we all know we're friends. And you wanna know what's gonna happen? Nothing. Absolutely nothing is gonna happen, because Newsom is a politician, and politicians get away with absolutely everything. It's not a Republican thing, it's not a Democrat thing, it's a, if you're in the politician club, you can pretty much do whatever the fuck you want and you'll never get in trouble. I mean, there are both Republican and Democrat politicians at the federal level right now that supposedly are better stock market investors than fucking Warren Buffett, but they didn't get that good at stock trading until after they became politicians and had access to insider information, but they would never use that insider information. Never. Not once.
Never.
So politicians get to get away with that. Meanwhile, I'm over here getting $120 tickets because the window tint
Oh,
on my
should we
car is apparently
go
too
to
dark,
bed or
even though that's the exact same tint that came on it from the fucking factory. And that's not even the worst part. Like, am I frustrated about blatant political corruption? Yeah, but I see it so much, so often, I'm basically desensitized to it at this point. The most frustrating part of this particular Breadgate incident is that it just highlights that politicians have absolutely no understanding of cause and effect. Seriously, I've got a 3-year-old that can put a 4-piece puzzle puzzle together, and I'm willing to bet a significant portion of these politicians can't. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to show you. Let's do a thought experiment together. McDonald's has come out and said that this new minimum wage increase is going to cost McDonald's $250,000 a year per location. Okay, let's pull up Google.
I got one more
McDonald's are in the
drink in
state of
me.
California,
That's it.
1,224. Okay, multiply that by $250,000. That's $306 million a year.
10 o'clock? Oh my god.
Okay, are you guys picking up what I'm putting down? Because I'm trying to tell you that the California state government is about to put McDonald's in a situation where McDonald's can A, pay $306 million, or they can B, figure out how to bake a fucking loaf of bread inside their restaurant every day. Which one do you think McDonald's,
It's only
aka
10?
one of the most successful capitalist endeavors
Jeez.
ever, is going to take? Okay, every fucking McDonald's in California is going to have an easy bake oven on the front desk, and they're going to bake a single fucking loaf of bread every day, and now they don't have to pay the new minimum wage because politicians are this fucking stupid. And then not only is
You
McDonald's
know-
going to sidestep the entire minimum wage, they're also going to charge $1,000.
I don't know what he's talking about. But you know what, like, gets me fucking crazy is... Wait, is it not this? This video is
All
fucking
the ones down there are yours.
crazy.
Yeah, capitalism and communism are...
This is
All right,
nuts.
unhinged case studies, grocery store edition.
This
Today
video
we're talking
is
about my favorite
fucking
grocery
crazy.
store. Ladies and gentlemen, Aldi. I'm probably going to refer to it as Aldi's at least 50 times during this video because I'm from Iowa and that's what we call it here. Anyways, first a disclaimer and an ad. I'm not affiliated with Aldi in any way, shape, or form. They have not paid me to say anything I am about to say. I am, however, affiliated
This
with
is
today's
fucking
sponsor, my favorite
crazy.
sporting goods store, Shields. They're legitimately the best sporting goods store that I have ever been to.
Shut up,
in
bro.
1945.
All right.
Two, and the
Oh,
living
all right.
I'm going to have that link down below. Let's get back
Let's
to the
go.
video. Aldi is a grocery store that does things completely different
I
than
wish
any
we
other
had
grocery store
Aldi.
that I've ever been to, and that is probably because they were founded in Germany in 1946. If you don't know, World War II ended in 1945, and living in Germany right after World War II was straight up not a good time. A ton of Germany's cities and infrastructure had essentially been reduced to rubble during World War II, and the entire country was going through a humongous economic depression.
We
with a
need
bunch of people
Aldi.
who were doing the whole stereotypical wheelbarrow full of money to buy a
Like,
loaf of
we
bread.
need Aldi
Dave, you're not
bad.
picking up what I'm putting down. I'm trying to tell you that the founders of Aldi, Carl and Theo Albrecht, are playing entrepreneur on hardcore mode. And obviously they did a good job at it because Aldi is a humongous chain of grocery stores today. So how on earth did these two brothers launch a successful chain of grocery stores in Germany in 1946? They kept it simple. They were goal-oriented. They wanted to make money, and they knew that not everybody had
God,
a
he
lot of money
talks
to
so
spare, so they
fast.
needed to sell everything cheap. In order to do that, they said, we're not going to have 50 different flavors from 12 different companies of every type of product. We're just going to have one of everything. Like, instead of having 15 different types of peanut butter, we just have one type of peanut butter. And
Yeah.
that's how they got their products to be cheap, by focusing their buying
Makes
power.
sense.
Now, that's the simple part. But where the true genius comes out is that they realized that they were
Makes
going to make a lot
sense.
of money per customer, so they had to maximize the amount of customers that they had. In order
Yeah.
for that to happen, they realized that they needed customers to get in, get their shit, and get out so that more
We need
customers could
Aldi.
come in. So they German engineered this entire grocery store to streamline the entire shopping experience to make it as fast as humanly possible. And oh boy, did that work, because in the first 10 years, they went from one grocery store to 300 grocery stores. Then the
Okay,
two brothers,
let's
Carl
go.
and Theo, got in a huge fight because
Yeah.
one of the brothers wanted to have cigarettes in the grocery store and the other brother adamantly was opposed to it. So they decided that they were going to split
Okay.
their massive business completely in half. They were going to have Aldi's North and Aldi's South. They literally just drew a line across Germany, said all these grocery stores are mine, all the ones down there are yours. Yeah, capitalism and communism are split in Germany east to west. Aldi's is splitting it north to south. But here's the thing, the brothers didn't have a falling out. They still worked together and they still wanted the other brother to succeed. So they were constantly sharing information with one another, and they would come together to make offers with manufacturers when they were buying so that they could utilize their buying power together. So you have Aldi's North and Aldi's South, basically the same thing. The only real difference is one sells cigarettes and they have a slightly different logo. Now, in America, due to trademark law, you can't have two grocery stores with the same exact name and a slightly different logo. So in America, we have Aldi and then we have Trader Joe's. But really, it's all
Yep.
just Aldi, and they kept to the principles of cheap and
It's
fast
wild,
until
dude. I
modern
didn't
day,
even
which
know
is something
this.
that no other grocery store in America has managed to do. Not only have they not managed to do it, they intentionally do the opposite. Pretty much every other grocery store on the planet has figured out that time equals money, and the more time you spend in their store is the more money they can get out of you. Okay, I know that you've been in one of these gigantic grocery stores, but I'm going to go ahead and break it down for you anyways, okay? You walk through the door, congratulations, you've just entered capitalism metabolism's obesity Thunderdome, because everything in this room is pretty much designed to hurt you, more or less. The first thing you're going to notice is that you're there for milk. Well, congratulations. The milk is all the way across the store in the far back corner, and they stuck it there on purpose because they know you need it, and now you have to walk past every fucking aisle in the store to get to it. And pretty much every single aisle there is full of products where they have hired a psychologist to design boxes with pretty colors to trigger your lizard brain to being like, oh my god, I have to have it. They're trying to get you to buy as much shit as humanly possible on your way to get milk, bread, and eggs. And I know what you're thinking. All those fancy marketing tactics don't work on me. Maybe, but hear me out. Next time you're in there, just do some people watching. You're going to notice that a portion of the population, their brain can't handle going to a modern grocery store. They turn into
This is
zombies. They're
basically
pushing a cart
Trader
from
Joe's.
side to side. They can't even keep it straight as their head's turning to look at all the different pretty colors. There's people straight up just standing still at a wall of cereal, like,
which they're owned
as
by
their brain
Aldi.
desperately tries to calculate and process all this information regarding what type of Cheerios they need. There's people standing there with 2 different types of ranch in each hand, probably made from the same exact factory with the same exact ingredients, but they have different labels on them from different companies, and they don't know which one is going to be better for them. It's like the island of the lotus eaters from Greek mythology.
And like
they go there for one
a
thing,
regular
and they're stuck
grocery
there
store,
for all of
yeah.
eternity. It's literally purgatory. This is why every other grocery store in America isn't just a grocery store. They also have a coffee shop and a little restaurant and a florist and a pharmacy and a bank where you can cash your check. They're trying to get any excuse to get you to come into their store for a second, because they know once you set foot in there, you're going to be in there for at least an hour and a half trying to figure out what type of products you need. And if that doesn't convince you that they're trying to trap you in there, checking out in a grocery store today will, okay? The first thing you're going to notice with your cart full of groceries, there's 30 different lanes. One of them is open, and it's the one furthest away from the door. So obviously you're going to have to spend some time waiting in line because there's only one checkout register open, and it moves slower than the DMV in Zootopia. And while you're waiting, you probably couldn't help but notice that there is a mountain of candy on either side of you as they desperately try to make that one last sale. But you avoid temptation, and it is now your turn. You're up next. You are getting checked out at the grocery store.
Basically
You're almost out of here.
Target.
And that's when you realize that this has now turned into an interrogation. Okay, they're going to open up by taunting you. They're going to say something along the lines of, did you find everything you were looking for today, sir? They know. They know you found everything you were looking for because you just stood in line that says, I found all the shit I needed. But they're going to go ahead and rub it in your face because they knew it took you forever to figure out which flavor of ranch that you wanted. And just for the record, when I say they're taunting you, I'm not talking about the cashier themselves. They're just doing their job. They're doing what they were told to do. The CEO of the company, on the other hand, is laughing his ass off at you. I was a cashier at a grocery store for 5 years, and in 5 years, 0 people said they didn't find everything they were looking for. Okay, that entire question is just to fuck with you. But this is the portion where they're going to start playing hardball. They want to harvest as much information as possible. It's going to be like, oh, did you have our fucking little super duper saver card where you spend $800 in groceries and we give you like 12 cents off of a gallon of gas? And you're going to be like, no, I don't. Oh, did you want one? No, I don't, because I know for a fact that as soon as I give you my name, my email address, my address, and my phone number, you're going to turn around and sell it to a data broker, and then I'm going to have robots calling my phone for the next 10 fucking years, because that's exactly why they asked for that information, so they can turn around and sell it. Because there is a total of 0 gigantic superstores that are giving away shit for free, okay? Nothing is ever free. If it's free, it's because you're the product. And then because you had the audacity to tell them no, they're going to shame more money out of you. They're going to hit you with the old, did you want to round your total up today for puppies with maggots in their eyes? Really? You're gonna hit me with that with a full line of people behind me? For real? Every time we get all the maggots out of a puppy's eyes, we donate it to an orphanage so they have some type of family. Also, by the way, fuck, fine, okay, I'll take the money, whatever. Just give me my groceries, I have to go. Okay, so that's your average grocery store. But Aldi's, on the other hand, is a goddamn masterpiece, okay? Can German engineering win a world war? Absolutely not, but holy fuck can it build a grocery store, because immediately upon approaching Aldi's, you're gonna be like, oh, all the carts are outside. That's fine, I'm gonna go grab one. And as you're walking towards the carts, you see the enormous "We're hiring" banner across the front of the store, and it says that they pay all their employees anywhere between $18.50 and $25 an hour starting rate. So now you're already kind of feeling good because, hey, this company takes care of their employees. Then you get to the shopping carts and you're like, oh shit, you actually have to take a quarter, stick it into this little slot, and unlock it for all the other carts.
Damn.
At first you're like, oh, that's a really clever idea, because now people are going to put their own carts back so they can keep their quarter. That way they're going to save a bunch of money on labor by not having to have somebody go drag carts in from the parking lot all day long. And that's true, that is part of it, but the other part that you're not thinking about, this is actually an IQ test, you see, because if you're not fucking smart enough to remember to bring a quarter, guess what? you can't really shop here. And that doesn't sound like a big deal, but I'm telling you right now, it's a huge deal, because as soon as you step into Aldi's, you're gonna notice a distinct lack of motherfuckers in the way. Everybody in there is there to get their shit and get out because they have stuff to do. Speaking of which, as soon as you walk into the store, there's no like grand opening area where you get to like walk down all the other aisles and like weave in and out and do all this
We need
bullshit.
an Aldi's.
You walk in, you're in aisle 1. You have to turn left. There's only one way to go. Now all of the traffic is going the same fucking direction. It's engineered to perfection. You walk in the door, you go down aisle 1, you go down aisle 2, you go down aisle 3, you go down aisle 4, and then there's checkout because there's only 4 aisles in Aldi's. It's perfect. Aldi's is 1/4 the size of your average grocery store, and it only stocks about 1,600 items, and your average
It's
grocery
the
store
shit
stocks
you
over
need.
30,000 items. And at first you're like, well, that doesn't sound very good, but no, it's actually perfect, because guess what? You need Cheerios? They've got Cheerios, but it's only one type of Cheerios. You don't have people standing in the middle of the aisle clogging up traffic.
Dude,
taking
we
forever.
need
Grab your
Aldi's.
Cheerios and
Aldi.
keep it moving. Buh, generic brands never taste as good as a name brand. Buh. I mean, sometimes
Nobody
sure, but like
fucking
90%
buys
of the time, it's the
generic
same exact
brands,
product made in
though.
the same factory, and it just has a different box. And Aldi knows that, and they went out of their way to prove it. And to prove it, they went to the biggest brand snobs on the planet. Wine people. You know, the same people that can apparently waft or taste a wine and be able to tell
Nobody
how wet or
fucking
how dry it
who
was the year
buys
that those
generic
grapes were harvested.
brands.
Yeah, Aldi enters wine competitions and wins all the time with their $5 bottle of wine. So now it's time to check out. You get to the checkout lane, everything looks completely normal. It's like every other checkout lane in every other grocery store that you've ever been to, except for it's not. This is not your normal cashier. This is like the NASCAR pit crew of cashiers. This is the fastest person at ringing out groceries you've ever met. in
Yeah,
your
they
entire
let
life.
him
He's gonna get to
sit
your
too.
groceries on the little conveyor belt. He's going to acknowledge that you
you know
exist,
what?
like, how's it going? And then you're going to say good, and then you're going to look down and all your groceries are already back in your cart. And that's when you're going to be like, oh shit, what is happening right now? And you're going to realize that he's not standing up like every other grocery store on the planet. He's sitting down in a chair, and you're going to be like, that's kind of cool. And then in the back of your head, you're going to be like, wait a minute, why did the grocery store that I worked at for 5 years all through high school make me stand up for absolutely no reason? Hi V, give me an answer. I know what you're going to say. You're going to say because sitting down doesn't look professional, okay? Listen to me. That's fucking dumb. Just because you're making money and working doesn't mean you need to be physically uncomfortable for no fucking reason. Okay? Then you're gonna look over at your groceries and you're gonna be like, oh shit, every single box or every single product has like 5 barcodes on it. That way the cashier doesn't have to search around for a barcode. He can just kind of shit whip it across the laser.
Love
and
you
it's gonna catch it
guys.
every time.
I'm out.
That's how he
Have
managed
a
to
good
bring
night.
your groceries up at the speed of light. And then the
Anyone's
cashier's gonna give you
here.
your total, and it's literally
Appreciate
like half of what
you.
you were expecting it was gonna be, because apparently the front door
it's
of Aldi's is a
night
magical
time.
portal that takes you into the past where groceries used to be
Alright.
cheap. So then you grab your cart full of groceries, walk off to the side. There's a huge counter with a bunch of boxes. You put your groceries in the boxes, put them in your cart, take that shit out to your car, and you're done. You went through the entire store, you went through every aisle, and got through checkout in literally less than 10 minutes. It's amazing. So yeah, that's Aldi's entire MO. Be fast.